And we're back. Welcome back to the Merv Griffin Show. So we're back with more Festivus. The Thunk Tankers are here, Joe and Luke. Again, we always go into two parts because there's just too much Seinfeld. But for
because
this
going through the staying on point in Seinfeld is like trying to move through the Vietnamese jungle, you know?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, in part one, we somehow ended up talking about like season 3 for like 5 minutes.
Oh God,
so there's no way.
Yeah, we did tangent hard. Well,
Yeah.
I like this idea of this transition into how impactful Festivus actually has been on real people's lives.
And in a serious way, too, of course.
Point. Oh, yeah, there's...
My family has a Festivus poll. We'll get into that.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Is it one of like the little toy ones that they sell on Amazon? Or
It's
do you have like an
it's
actual
strength
aluminum
to...
No, it's not any of what you guys are saying.
foil? Okay, well,
its strength to
let's
weight
go through
ratio is nothing.
Yeah,
Let's go to the actual history, and then we'll get into Joe's history with it.
that sounds great.
So Festivus is originally a holiday tradition of the Seinfeld scriptwriter Dan O'Keefe.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
Oh.
this existed before the strike. It first came into prominence, as we talked about, 1997 episode The Strike. It is on December 23rd every year. And if your employer does not give you the 23rd off, they are officially infringing upon your right to celebrate new and exciting holidays.
Huh.
You're allowed to go on strike. Not really. That's what Kramer does.
That checks out.
When you first started that sentence, my brain was like, wait, is he citing some like law I don't know about? And then I was like, oh, wait, that sounds like a Kramer logic.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Kramer.
Okay, that
That's
checks
Kramer.
out. That's
You guys
karma.
didn't laugh at all, and I thought it was a really good setup, and I was like, "Oh shit, I lost them." I thought we lost the connection or something. I'm like, they got to know this line. So this was started by Dan O'Keefe's father, Daniel, in somewhere around 1966.
What? This is mind blowing.
Yeah, I got this all from Wikipedia, so like I don't really do citations on this podcast, but it's all
Nevertheless.
Wikipedia. Literally everything is Wikipedia.
Nevertheless.
Nevertheless.
I hate Jerry Seinfeld. He's awful.
Horrible people.
Nevertheless.
John Jr.
JFK Jr.
JFK.
I can't understand why we needed two parts for
Why are we
this.
going 2 parts every time? It's unbelievable, guys.
Yeah. Whatever.
Fuck it.
Joe's whatever there was like, look, I'm not going to change who I am at this point in
it's
my
like,
life.
I have 5 jobs. I talk about Seinfeld on podcasts. What are you going to do?
I got cobwebs of Seinfeld knowledge
We're
in my
too
brain.
deep into technically for you guys, 3 2-part episodes on Seinfeld. Like we're not changing at this point.
I got news for you. It's way too late for me to go to law school. I don't know if technically, but emotionally for sure. Yeah.
Shit, I lost my place. So
I lost my train of thought. You
Who's
could
next?
smooth as silk sheet if you had a hot date with a babe.
Yeah, that was a good setup there.
Yeah,
Shit.
there you go. You were talking about Georgia O'Keeffe? What was it?
Dan O'Keefe.
I was close.
You got the last name right.
I got something.
So it was the date was chosen to celebrate Dan O'Keefe's father, his first date with his wife.
That's nice.
Yep, that's a good reason.
Yeah.
They didn't go too much into the celebration. It was kind of a much more simple celebration. It was like you got together for dinner, like normal people do. There's no poll. There's no airing of grievances at Festivus, but I think it said that they did set aside time to air grievances at some other point in their like yearly lives. Or that was
So that's where the idea came from, more or less?
Yeah, it was either that or it was added by some other writer's family who did that. So it was a part of something. So instead
Do you know if... Oh, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, along those lines with that original celebration, do you know if did it say if they also celebrated other holidays like around that time, like Christmas or Hanukkah? Or did they do that in lieu of those holidays?
I believe it was in lieu of.
Oh, okay. That's
Because I
interesting.
think they weren't
Okay.
very religious or something like that. Yeah.
I see. So it was like a secular holiday seasonal
Yes,
thing.
that's
Okay,
exactly
cool.
what it was. They said they
Okay.
wanted a secular
I see.
alternative.
Right. Okay.
They didn't like all the commercial and religious aspects of Christmas and Hanukkah.
That checks out, yeah.
Of your traditional holidays.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So in lieu of a pole, they had a clock in a bag that they nailed to the wall. It was never the same clock or bag, but it was always the same wall.
God, damn pastrami on rye.
That damn delicatessen.
Yeah.
What? Why is there a clock in a bag? What does that mean?
Yeah, what is that representative of?
They never, because I wanted that answer, and in the Wikipedia page, it never goes into detail. I'm sure if I did more research, I probably could have found it, but that's not my style.
I'm trying to think, like, what kind of clock and what kind of bag? Like a regular wall clock, and you put it in like a big sandwich bag or something?
Well, it was different every year, they said.
Oh, really? Because I imagine kind of like just like a little zip-up bag.
Yeah, but then it would have to be like a wristwatch that you put on there or something.
I imagine like the clock from the episode that George steals a clock. Like
yeah,
a clock
that's what I'm thinking. It's that alarm clock in a brown bag nailed on a wall.
That can go off and you can be like, damn delicatessen.
Damn delicatessen.
It's the last time I go there.
She got a bit of a Melissa Tomei thing going on.
That's such a great, like, George, like, I fucked up.
I love how he tries to play it off. Like, oh, yeah, it was the delicatessen.
Well, I mean, we've all been in the situation where we think we're going to make a trade for a clock that we stole from a girl's house.
Because she says, I'd like to meet up if you have the time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I never realized that. That's so true. You know what Jason Alexander said his favorite George Costanza moment is?
Maybe, but I forget at the moment.
I think I know the answer. Like, I'll know it when you say it, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, this was just a rando. I think it was like an Inside the Actor Studio interview or something with him that I found on YouTube. And he said it was the early on in the series where Elaine gets him the job at her job. And Lippman calls him into the office and says, "It's come to my attention that you've been having sex with the cleaning lady on the desk in your office. Is this true?" And Jason Alexander says that he really realized the genius of George's character, but of Larry David as a writer, when George says, instead of, obviously doubling down and saying like, no, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Like,
I would never do that.
Saying, was that wrong? Should I not
I've worked
have done
in other
that?
offices. That kind of thing goes on all the time.
Yeah, he identified that as like that was like a pivotal George moment for him.
He doubles down on this should be okay rather than obviously the cleaning lady's lying.
Right, exactly.
Which would have been his best play.
Yeah, because it's a lot easier to fire a cleaning service than an employee.
Yeah, he could have totally worked his George web of lies and said, "Oh, like, we got in an argument because she like threw something of mine off the he could have made anything up real quick and at least even if no one got fired, like it would have been fine. But he goes for the riskier
something
angle.
Of mine away, so she thought I was going to try and get her fired, so she's trying to get me fired first.
Right.
That's a pretty easy lie.
He did the classic Larry David move, which is like, I'm a little bit bored and I want to take this risk. Like when Larry says, "Oh yeah, I saw your son by the pool. He's got some penis on him."
I forget how much more explicit Curb is sometimes.
Well, that's what
and
I was
then
just
you say
thinking
lines
about.
like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. He did say that.
A few minutes ago when you were like, "Oh, whatever," and I said, fuck it." Like I was just thinking of like, what would Seinfeld be like? And you get a little bit of that with Curb, but like if they could swear, all four of them, what would that show have been? Like, if
I think Elaine would be cursing all over the place.
Yeah, Elaine wouldn't have lasted very long.
I mean, have you seen Veep?
I actually haven't. No.
I haven't either.
Great show.
Really?
It's so great. Yeah, because it's just, I mean, it's her being unhinged, but also being uncensored. And it's exactly like you could picture her in moments in Seinfeld. There are moments in Seinfeld where she does curse, I think more so than any other character, and it's creatively bleeped.
Yeah.
Like, there's one scene where I think she's in a car. No, that's Jerry.
Jerry with the honk. Oh, shut the honk up.
But she says like, I really don't give a and she's like slams the door behind her.
They play hers off in different ways usually. Yeah.
Yeah. So
she's always the closest to it. You're right.
Oh, she screams motherfucker on the subway and they bleep it. They just overtly
in her
bleep
brain.
it.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So she's got it in her for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think with Elaine, it would be the everyday lexicon with her, and with George, it would just be these fits of rage that come out of almost nowhere.
Now they want me to bottle it up. It makes me so mad.
Yeah, George is...
He's a bit of a rageaholic.
Yeah.
It's a germ. Putty.
Oh, Putty. I didn't even catch your you teed up a setup for a Putty transition.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
My brain
We
was
can't
like,
catch 'em all.
I mean, you can't. Yeah.
Your brother would have caught it though.
He probably would have caught it, but my brain's not only like tired from when you drive in the snow, which it snowed today,
yeah.
like it, and also like I was just in London for a few days, and so like I'm still like a little bit weird on my brain time.
Yeah, I spent a week there one night. So more Festivus in the real world. There was a 2005 book written called Festivus, The Holiday for the Rest of Us by Alan Watkins. And then it's mentioned in another 2012 book, Kosher Christmas, 'Tis the Season to be Jewish by Rabbi Joshua Eli Plout. I don't know what either of those books are, but there's been actual published work on Festivus, which is interesting.
Have you ever met anyone that knew like of Festivus by name but didn't realize it came from Seinfeld?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not a very outgoing person, so I don't like talk to a lot of people randomly.
You don't just go to the grocery store and like run polls.
Have you hand them a pamphlet? Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Festivus?
Yeah, actually, that would be a something worth doing, right? Just hand out like DVDs of Seinfeld outside the grocery store with Happy Festivus, like,
or just a CD with this 2-part episode of a podcast on it. Like, listen, here's Festivus. I wouldn't get any stats for that though.
Yeah. Yeah, hand this episode out to only non-Seinfeld fans and see how that goes.
I'm sure we'll get a lot of listens there. So yeah, there's 2 books, and no, I haven't personally met anyone who doesn't equate Festivus with Seinfeld.
It's not so much whether they equate it, but like they're not Seinfeld fans. They just only know about Festivus because they hear people talking about it.
Right. Because it's everywhere. December 23rd, it's literally all over Facebook and Twitter. It's gotten to the point where I don't want to make my Facebook post because I'm like, well, people will just think I'm doing it to be trendy. And like, look, I've been doing this since.
Yeah. It's not cool anymore because it's so popular.
But you can just drop some Festivus knowledge in your
It's a Festivus miracle!
Yeah, you're
just
good
drop
to go.
the links of these 2 podcasts in the comments. I'll be like,
actually,
look, I was born into this.
Actually, now that you mention
inherited it.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but that's not a bad idea. Now it's time to keep talking about Festivus. Oh, God.
So, I used to yell when people would...
That's such a great way to start a sentence, just objectively. So I used to yell.
When people would walk into my grandma's house on Christmas.
Yada, yada, yada.
Or like Christmas Eve, whatever the family hang was that year.
Yeah.
People would walk into the house and I would just yell like, it's a Festivus miracle! And often, like, if you yell at someone when they first walk in the door, they're just like, shut the...
what
like,
the fuck
it's just...
are you doing?
Yeah.
That checks out, yeah.
And especially if they don't know that line, they're just like, what?
Yeah.
Did you look different when you walked in? Or did you have a completely different face than you usually have because of the lighting? And then claim it's a Festivus miracle that you showed up at this place?
Wait, I love when Kramer says it's a Festivus miracle. It's not 10 seconds later that he's like, I gotta go, though.
like he's so
Kramer.
into it right up until the feats of strength.
Yeah,
come.
it's like a very sharp turn. He's just like, not only do I have to go, but I'm now going to insult the holiday and say it's a little like,
because it was
there
were 2 Festivus miracles because the guys from the track bumped into Kramer at H&H and he said he was just going to see her, and then Gwen showed up.
Right. Who Kramer said...
Who
Kramer didn't recognize and then said, oh, I know Jerry's girlfriend. You're way prettier and like a foot taller. Which it's funny because the prettier part makes sense, but and like a foot taller is just him being a troll, basically. Like a 1990s troll. And then she says, oh, that's like that ugly woman. That must be who he's with.
She must be the ugly woman I've heard.
And then Kramer follows up with, as she's like, confirming, she's realizing that like, oh, Jerry's cheating on me. Kramer goes, oh, he's a tomcat. Like, why? Why,
like
Kramer? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Like,
he's like, oh no, he's definitely seeing another girl.
Yeah. Classic Kramer.
He's definitely Watleying you. So the next point I had was the 2000 Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl team was not allowed to use the word playoffs as they were on their playoff run. Instead, they referred to the playoffs as Festivus, and then the Super Bowl they referred to as Festivus Maximus.
Interesting.
Wait, when was this?
The 2000 Baltimore Ravens team.
Really?
So like it was a team rule basically that they couldn't say playoffs.
Like a
they would jinx
superstition
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so they referred to it as Festivus, and then the Super Bowl was Festivus Maximus. So I thought that was really cool of how it gained. And I wonder how many people in that locker room are like, what the fuck is Coach talking about? Why is this Festivus?
I mean, who knows? Like, I feel like within our generation around that time, it's pretty. I mean, I know so many.
It was probably pretty heavy in 2000.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I know so many people, or I've met so many people who I feel like I would have nothing else in common other than Seinfeld. Like, they would know a Seinfeld.
I can
reference.
think of, I'm not going to it, but like my 10-year high school reunion's coming up in like a month.
I didn't go to mine. If that makes
But
you
I
feel
could
better.
think of like all I would
My school
really
didn't even
have
have
for about
Ideally.
80% of the interactions I would have there. I could quote Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But I could
Oh,
just
yeah,
do that with
exactly.
the people I actually hang out with anyways.
And
so,
like.
yeah.
I once had a friend tell me, because I would quote Seinfeld all the time, and he wasn't a regular watcher. Like, he would kind of check it out every once in a while, but he's nowhere near our level, obviously. And, like, we were just sitting there hanging out one day, and it was on, and, like, he heard one of the things that I always say, and he goes, I think it'd be a lot less funny if I watched this show more often. I said, you know what, you're probably right.
I don't know if that's sad or endearing for who.
Yeah.
I mean, was he saying that you would be less funny if he knew where all your lines were coming
right?
from?
Right.
Yeah, but at the same time,
he thought
half
I
of the
was
Seinfeld
clever
lines-
because I was thinking of these things all on my own and getting the
yeah,
timing of
right.
them perfect. But
And you're
but
like,
really,
no,
I was
I'm
just
just-
copying something.
I'm just a script.
But still, you
Right.
have to be careful with that because you have to filter. If you're going to give a Seinfeld line to a non-Seinfeld listener, there's a chance it'll just like miss the mark completely.
Didn't that happen to you where you said somebody said something and you said, "Oh, that's what you did," and they kind of looked at you like,
Yeah.
okay, dick,
Okay,
like,
psychopath.
yeah.
Like
Or
Right.
like if
Or
somebody
like all
asks
the-
you for someone's phone number and you go, "Oh, it's 555 Filk," and like they have no idea where that comes from. Like
Yeah,
a
they'll be
Seinfeld
like,
person
"What
would
is a
Find
Filk?"
it hilarious. Yeah. Why did you give me a
you
number?
better believe it.
Like, first of all, that's not enough numbers. Second of all, like, why did you spell it out?
yeah. You've never done that with any other number ever. I do this one to my girlfriend. She knows it now, but like back when we were first dating, anytime she was like, "Oh, are you on your way to pick me up?" I'd be like, "You better believe it, buddy." And
a
she
good
just
one, yeah.
thought I was like having mini strokes or something.
I was gonna say, as somebody who at the time I believe had only been speaking English for 2 years,
Yeah.
of course she thought you were having a stroke, Luke. What did you think?
And
was
my
gonna
dad mostly still just quotes Seinfeld at her, and she's only in about
And
6
that's how
months
she's
into
learning the
watching
English
it, so
language.
she
Yeah.
doesn't have that ability to like riff on Seinfeld quotes like
Right.
people who grew up on it did,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But at least she has an idea.
My go-to is that's a shame.
That's a shame.
That's a shame.
Every time I can find it, like I can hit the timing perfect and everything. We were, I have a good story about that one. When the Wii first came out, my roommates and I were playing Wii Golf, and like we had all gotten really good at it because it was a super easy game made for children.
Mhm.
So like we could almost basically hole in one every hole. We had gotten to that point.
That makes a good
Yeah.
drinking game for adults.
Yeah.
Exactly. It did.
Yeah.
But so one of my roommates hit it and like, it did the thing where it rolls around the green and it spins around and it gets right next to the cup and we're all just standing there. Everybody goes, "Ah," and I just go, "That's a shame."
Was
Got a
it
big laugh.
well received?
Oh yeah, it got a big laugh.
There you go. I mean, that's a testament, right?
And if the universe gifts you like the perfect silence where like it's just begging for a Seinfeld delivery, you
That's gotta hurt.
yeah.
That's
gotta
gotta
do it.
hurt.
Like anytime I ask my dad something like, "Oh, have you ever and then done X experience or been on this new train or whatever the thing is," he's like, "What? You think I've never ridden in a Cadillac before?"
That's pretty
I
good.
am definitely the type of person who's ridden in a Cadillac.
Hundreds, thousands.
Jack
Checks
Klompus is great.
Yeah,
Jack.
Klompus is great.
Jack Klompus. God.
Guys, we're getting derailed again. We got a lot of history to
Okay.
go through.
So I was gonna ask, do you celebrate Festivus in any way? Because you said that you would think about posting about it, but do you celebrate in any way? Are you a
internally
practitioner?
celebrate. I would love to. My wife is not on board. Like, I've tried.
Your wife's like, we have to have a real family.
Yeah. and like I've tried with like my parents and my brother, but like I feel like they forget about it all the time. Like, they don't know December 23rd is coming up. Oh man, it's Festivus. Like, I look forward to December 23rd every year to find the perfect post to make about Festivus and the perfect line, like random ass line to pull from this episode. So no, I never have. I wish I would have. I wish I would have been able to. Like,
well, you could do it.
Care.
You just need to get a poll and keep it in
just
the crawl
get a small
space.
poll. Yeah,
that's fine.
I mean, everyone has at least a crawl space somewhere.
So
except I live in Florida, and going in the attic even in December about kills you of heat stroke. So
I believe for sure. Do we celebrate Festivus? I don't think we do. But
as a joke, there's
parents,
really doing it, and then there's as a joke.
So my
doing
parents
it.
actually.
I'll usually call or text my family and say Happy Festivus, or it's a Festivus miracle, some crap like that.
So my family actually have it's like a cardboard tube.
Okay.
But it's long. It's like 5 or 6 feet long.
What's its strength to weight
how's the
ratio?
strength
Not
weight
great
ratio?
because it's a cardboard tube, and it's just wrapped with tinfoil. Because my parents aren't crazy enough to go out and buy an actual aluminum bowl.
Metal is expensive,
been
Right.
posted on Twitter or Facebook or Reddit? Because I feel like I've seen it before.
Oh God, I don't know. So this is something that I'm going to investigate.
It would have had to go viral, but
well, so I mean, I'll be at my parents' house for Christmas Eve this year and Christmas, so I'm going to ask them to try to find this because I remember it from past like Christmas Eves. I don't think we
ever. Crawl space.
Yeah, I don't think
Check the crawl space.
No, seriously, we do have a crawl space, and I don't remember ever on December 23rd celebrating in any way. But I remember
the
on
pole is just like around.
I remember, right around Christmas Eve, the pole just kind of comes out, and it's just kind of hanging around, and it's just this again, it's a cardboard tube wrapped with aluminum foil, so it's kind of doing the job, and so it's just kind of there.
Yeah, so this year, bring a clock in a bag and nail it to the wall.
That is
be like, no, this is the real Festivus.
Which one do you think is more disturbing, the clock in a bag or the pole?
The clock in the bag, hands down.
Yeah,
hands down.
No, hands.
Literally,
I was trying to make hands on the clock.
You're trying to make a clock pun.
I couldn't do it. Yeah, fail.
Literally, only the people who have listened to this podcast, been psycho enough to go to the Wikipedia page to read about actual Festivus, or actually recorded this podcast, know about the clock on the wall now. And I think I'm going to start nailing a clock to my wall, and not I might do it in my man cave here that I use as a recording studio, or I might do it out in the room and just not explain it to my wife. I'll just do it one day.
What do you think the question would be like when she sees it?
I think
how would that be phrased?
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag?
Oh, is it not a clear bag? Like you can't see it's a clock?
Oh, I imagine it to be a green bag for some reason, either a green or a
weird.
black
I imagine it to be clear, like I'm just looking at a psychotic clock.
You're such a psycho, dude. Like, why do you think that
why
it's
would
a clear
you have a clear
bag?
clock? You obviously set the alarm for a random time and wait for it to go off.
Yeah, that's so what a serial killer would think, dude.
Yeah, totally. Of course, the old clock in a bag test. Yeah, you got me on that one.
How would you put your clock in your bag?
Yeah, it's the Rorschach test for psychopaths.
Using clock.
I'm definitely going to have to put a clock in a bag on a wall now and just have it there as an homage. Because I used to have... I had a print of the Kramer in a shitty frame, but I have literally too much stuff on my walls that the Kramer had to get demoted, and it's in the closet now.
We did that. Day. We did that as a gift for somebody my dad worked with one year. My dad made like a Kramer face, and we photoshopped his face on that portrait and gave it to somebody as a gift.
Nice.
Yeah, it looked fantastic.
Joe, can you help me out with this one? This is going to be the first Christmas that I've ever spent with my girlfriend. And so I could very well put a clock up, and because she's
not ready for that.
She always goes back to Turkey on Christmas, and they don't really celebrate Christmas there.
That was going to be my question. Do they have obviously just learning she's from Turkey. So do they have Christmas? Would she understand Christmas customs?
So they don't celebrate Christmas, but they celebrate the Christmassy vibe. Like they'll put
Really?
Christmas lights up or put a Christmas tree even, but like Christmas Day will come and go
What
and
about
they
tinsel?
don't say like Merry Christmas, you know?
Wait, but isn't that like primarily a Muslim population?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Christmas is more of
They
just like
they
a
celebrate
cultural.
like a
I'm
holiday season.
But I'm surprised that there's still because there's no
it's just a westernized thing, you
but
know?
there's
like,
no because there's no Muslim holiday around that time, is there?
I don't think so. No.
So, but they still celebrate that. Like there's like
No,
let's
I'm
just
saying they
celebrate.
don't celebrate. They just put up a.
So you're saying they're prime territory to inject
Just putting
Festivus
lights up.
into?
If you were to ask
Yeah.
them, they would say it's a Christmas tree that we put up for the New Year's season.
Really?
You know?
I had
I
no
think-
idea.
I
That's
think
interesting.
You need to
Okay.
travel to Turkey with an
put
aluminum
a
pole
clock.
and a clock in a bag.
and have my go at it.
Yeah,
and then
pretty
I'll
sure
end
he's
up
not
in,
going to
Get
get
it
through
started.
TSA with all that.
I'll end up in a Turkish jail for like trying to proselytize some new religion.
But
Who will
what
be a
if you
political prisoner?
what if you have to give your bank code to somebody to get you out of the Turkish prison?
That's true.
Oh, that's
How did that
true,
work
yeah.
out perfectly? That you may end up in a Turkish prison, and George had that scenario thrown at him. It was a
Yeah,
Turkish
that's
prison.
That would also be ironic. Yeah, I would
Anyways,
give you my. I would give you my.
I'm
bank
gonna
code
put
at
a
that
clock nailed to the wall. Is it
Don't
nailed
do
to the
it.
wall or
Don't-
thumbtack? Does it matter?
point. Don't
the
do
bag
any of
is
it.
nailed to the wall. It says.
So I'm gonna nail a bag
Don't-
to a wall. And Joe, I'm gonna say this is something we all do around here. And she might Google it, but then I want it to come up in our conversation, and you have to just like be like, "Yeah, we just put
Yeah,
up
we do it.
our clock yesterday.
Be like, duh.
We nailed up our bag yesterday."
Be like, dude, you guys don't put clocks up in Istanbul?
Not even that. We'll just talk about it like casually in front of her, and maybe.
dude.
Like
That's
you just got
really
to go
nice
to his
clock
house
this
and be like,
year.
"Oh, I see you got your clock
Yeah.
up this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
dude,
the bag you chose. Yeah,
dude. That's a really nice bag. Where'd
Oh,
you get
better
it?
than last year's, you know, like something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last year
no.
you used that clear bag like a serial killer. I'm glad you went the classic black bag this year.
I'm glad you've upgraded to normal bags. Yeah.
All right, we have a whole background. I think we're good to go.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm putting it up. That's it. I'm gonna
You'll
tweet
have
it.
to like record it somehow, and we'll have to share on Twitter all of our new Festivus experiences now that
Yeah.
we've learned more.
This sounds like a plan.
I kind of
Sounds
like
like
the clock in a bag way more than the pole, actually.
Yeah.
Well, there's more variation. There's more possible.
Not only
variation,
that,
yeah.
there's just something weird. My brain's like, wait, what? A
So
clock
does-
in a bag?
But you can also ask, like, do I set an alarm? Do I set a certain time?
I would
Right.
set an alarm.
To when? Even then, if you do set an alarm.
12:23.
Oh.
That's not a bad idea.
Does it go off every day for the season? Like,
Yeah, is it like an advent calendar? Like, it just
Yeah.
goes off every day?
Well, they only put it up on the wall that day, like while they were having their dinner.
Oh. So
So
where
it
is it the
wasn't
rest
like
of the year? Oh, the crawl space, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously. Duh.
Well, they get a new bag every year, so it's just whatever. So is this a bag with handles, or do they put the nails straight through the bag?
I think you can vary it. Like,
Yeah, it
I don't think
depends.
it's written in scripture.
I
that
think
it
I'm
has
going to
to
go
have
with a
handles or
drawstring bag this year. Those are popular. We've got a lot of them
Well,
lying
the-
around the house.
Well, this is how you wind up with different factions and different sects of
yeah,
religion,
yeah.
right?
pretty
Like,
soon there'll be the Martin Luther Reformation of.
are you
of
dating one of those non-handlers?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, you
Oh, you
think
got a
you can
brown
put a bag
bagger,
up
huh?
without handles, huh?
Yeah.
He's
One of
an
the brown
anti-handite.
baggers. Exactly.
Digital clock versus analog clock. What do you do?
There's a lot of room for religious war there. I
How
like
do you
it,
lift
yeah.
up your bags from the bottom?
With your hands?
So here's another question: should we just make the officials set the rule now? Like to
You
be
mean
the
make
official,
our own sect?
Yeah, to be the official
Yeah, we could do
a
it.
podcast about something Thunk Tank Festivus followers, you need a
Oh, I don't
digital
think we're
alarm
gonna-
clock with red
I-
letters.
I don't think we're going to agree on this because I already
Okay.
disagree with what you've said.
Well, I was just throwing out an example. That doesn't have to be it. It seems
want
like
the
it's all
clock.
you and none of my ideas are getting through.
I got nothing out of this. I want the clock from.
All right, well, what does he import?
I want the clock from. I want the clock from Beauty and the
Potato
Beast. That's the
Cogsworth?
clock I want.
I
the
feel
mini
like all
grandfather
my
clock?
ideas are being
Yeah.
shot down.
I'm getting nothing.
So should we all find a pretend Beauty and the Beast clock? Then we can't set an alarm because I think it's going to be hard to find an official Beauty and the Beast
functioning Beauty and the Beast clock. That's going to be the more expensive type.
That checks out, yeah.
That's going to be like $200 a pop. We need something like $4.
Hey, that would be respectful to the religion, though.
See, the thing is, I'm all about hands on a clock, but I hate ticking.
Okay.
It's a curse I've been born with.
The place we were staying at had a ticking clock in the room. It was like a pull-out couch.
Dude.
You know what I did one night? I just found it and just walked it into the kitchen and put it on the counter.
That's such a psycho way to describe it. I love it. Not I took it into the kitchen. I walked it into the kitchen. Like it also had legs.
It was tormenting
as it had hands, and I walked it into the kitchen and put it face down to the sink to suffer.
It felt like that at the time.
Dude, I agree. It drives me crazy.
You know when you wake up and something's been keeping you up, like a red light, let's say, coming through your window, something like that?
Yeah.
All right, I think
Kenny
I found
Roasters
the clock
has no idea what's going on there.
I think I found our clock. I'm on Amazon.com. I searched analog clock. Very simple.
All right, fair enough. I concede to whatever point I was trying to make.
Which was none.
I sent you a link in the Zencaster session to the official podcast about something clock. $12.99. I think that's affordable enough.
I've got Amazon
has
Prime.
An alarm.
Oh, that's beautiful. Dude, I gotta say,
it'll fit in any type of bag you choose.
I love it.
I could also use it in the other times of the year.
Looks like now that I look at it, I could also use the clock for $12.99.
It's a fairly functional clock,
I like it.
So do we need an official bag, or should the bag vary from year to year?
I think the bag should vary.
I think the bag should vary because that really opens up opportunities to get really wild. Like, hey, if somebody wants to use a backpack one year, go for it. Justify that.
Because the heart of it is the clock, and that's the thing that should stay the same. It's the decoration that can change.
You're right. Okay. It's the heart that ticks, man.
Yeah.
So when this episode goes live, we'll put this link in the show notes, and we'll tweet it out as the official Thunk tank about something.
Yeah, and let's see how many people we can get.
Thunk tank about something, yeah.
Let's see how many people we can get to celebrate the original meaning of Festivus, which is not a poll, as the let's say the shallow Seinfeld fans might think, but it's actually a clock in a bag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
The poll
and we'll ask for people to send us their pictures of their Festivus clocks.
What would the hashtag for this be?
Make Festivus clock again.
No, I don't want any of that imagery around my holiday.
It's supposed to be a happy time.
Yeah.
Now let's rumble.
Festivus clock for the rest of us.
Ah.
Hashtag Festivus clock for the rest
That's
of us.
a lot of typing.
Just Festivus clock, maybe?
Yeah.
Right.
We'll work on it.
We'll work on it in post, as we
it.
say. Yeah. As we say on the podcast. We'll take care of it in post.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
So I do have more real history, guys.
Oh, go for it.
In case we've got anybody still listening.
Yeah. All three of you. Oh, hey, guys.
Who hasn't rushed out to Amazon to buy this clock now?
We'll get a kickback. It's fine.
Use our affiliate link, too. We don't have one.
So the interesting part about, I said the first week of part one of the George Costanza episode was my highest listens. Part two had a slight drop-off for some reason.
That happened with
our podcast, we got a lot of people
too.
For part one, and guess they didn't care about what happened with the rest of George and Susan.
I mean, when
Hopefully
you get that buttered up for part one, it's hard to...
Well, people just get tired, and then there's internet porn, and then it's like.
Well, that's why I did it in two parts. I thought you'd come back to it. If it's all 2 hours just together, nobody's gonna sit there for 2 hours.
That's a good point, and I think you're right because it's better to get at least half of them more of the time than none of them because they're just like, the hell is this? I'm not going to listen to insanity.
It was a well listened to episode. Thank you, fans who are still with us again.
Yeah, we love it.
No, so you're the real fans.
Yeah. In 2005, Wisconsin. I was trying to think of a quip and it didn't happen, so I just
I was like, all right.
I looked at Joe like a deer in headlights. I was like, "Hi, Joe."
In 2005,
our last 2 episodes have been like that.
Yeah. So in 2005, the Wisconsin governor, Jim Doyle, was referred to as Governor Festivus and displayed a Festivus pole in the executive residence of Wisconsin.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shout out Wisconsin, my birthplace.
Oh, nice. I went there once. It was cold as hell.
Yeah, it's It's not great. Milwaukee's nice, but I could do without
that's
the
where
rest
I
of the
went
state.
was
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
I think I was at
Milwaukee's
that
great.
airport.
Okay.
Lovely.
Spent a week there one night.
I took a I took a train from Chicago to Milwaukee to visit some friends, and the whole time I was like, "So this is what north of the wall looks like." 'Cause it was January.
I like to call it the Great White North anytime I go to visit.
Yeah, it was cool. I really liked Milwaukee, but
Milwaukee's
cold.
very cool if it's not winter. Like
Yeah,
all that
and if-
stuff's even better in summer.
and if
for
you love
the month and a
PBR.
half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Miller Lite. They got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff up there.
Well, it's the PBR capital, right?
Huh?
It's the PBR capital, right?
Yeah, and Miller Lite.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
Miller
Oh,
was
cool.
Miller's from there too.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, we're drinking that
Um,
right now. Checks out.
There you go.
Nice.
It was in 2010. Festivus was the top trend in Twitter. I'm guessing on December 23rd.
Oh, we
which
got to make
makes
it
sense.
happen again.
Well, it's going to be Festivus Clock this December 23rd.
I
for
think
sure.
we can get this
All
going.
right, I'm on board with that hashtag. It's short, it's sweet, to the point. Festivus clock.
So I was going to release on December 23rd, which is a Sunday. Usually my release date is Mondays, but since December 23rd is a Sunday this year, I was going to do it right on December 23rd. But now I'm thinking it's going to have to be Saturday the 22nd, so we can get Festivus Clock kind of rolling.
I like
And we
that.
can do part 1 on Saturday,
like
part
that.
2 on Sunday, so you can have a whole celebration,
A
really.
full Festivus miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a
No,
Festivus miracle for sure.
I love it.
Really, maybe it would be a fest if it takes off and all of a sudden, like you see on CNN, like
Pictures of
like,
people. Amazon sells out of this clock in less than a day.
the Amazon algorithms will be like, "What the fuck?"
Does not compute. Did not expect analog clock sales.
When
to
we
be.
ran the numbers for like holiday sales this season, we didn't
All these
factor in a
last-minute
clock,
sales.
an analog clock being
let alone this specific one.
Hey,
Which
it was
kind
a
of
spot.
sucks.
Also, large uptick in bag sales all of a sudden of all varieties, of all colors,
Yeah,
all creeds.
That's how pattern recognition works. You say, "Hey, this one clock was sold in all of these other random assortment of bags."
Yo, the hell, screw their algorithms. We're gonna test them.
Let's break
That's what we're gonna
Amazon.
Yeah,
Thunk tankers and somethingers.
we're taking them on. Yeah,
We're taking them down.
One
So in
Festivus at a time. Keep going, please. Interrupt us. Keep your history
I'm
going.
trying. In 2012, Google added an undecorated poll to search results for Festivus, which
It's great.
I don't know if it's still there, but I do remember searching Festivus at that time and getting it. I'm sure it comes up back around. Oh, yep, it's still there. There we go.
I'm
Hot
sure
damn.
it's going to come up again this year. Like,
Uh,
you know what's funny is I can't think of a specific year where Festivus comes up, but I know like every year since Festivus, it comes up, and since the internet's become a thing, it's still happening. Like people,
Oh, yeah.
people post about it and people
It's
celebrate
definitely a
it.
thing. Like, I'll
Yeah.
definitely have to hashtag Festivus and Festivus Cup
Clock.
just to get more eyes on it. Like,
Yeah,
we got to get the clicks.
Did you say cup or clock?
you said cup.
Clock. I did say cup.
Yeah. Wait,
Joe corrected you, and then I'm like, wait, what's going on now? Did I fuck up? Did you show me a picture of a
Throw a
clock
cup
on
in the
Amazon,
bag,
or was
too.
it a
were you
cup?
talking about cups the whole time?
And then I thought, should we just change it to a cup? Because that's kind of cool, too.
We'll have the cupites out there now too.
Well, we could have.
It's another branch. We're losing our religion, man.
Yeah.
It's
Well, we
splitting.
can't have cups. We gotta have flasks. That's the problem.
Yeah, the Cougar flask.
I do have a flask, so I'm ready to go.
I do
I
too.
feel like I feel like you should only be allowed to drink from alcohol from flasks.
Ooh, that's
On
a good.
Festivus
dinner.
That's a good policy.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to take a selfie
Flask
with the
only.
clock in a bag, nailed
Yeah.
to the wall, and you're taking
Drinking
a
from
sip
your
of your
flask.
flask.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's kosher, you know.
So
What are you gonna do?
again in 2012, a Festivus pole was put up in Deerfield Beach, Florida, alongside other religious holiday decorations. So this was like out in the.
name for a place. Deerfield Beach, Florida.
Hey, that's my
Yeah.
home state, guys. Take it
No,
easy on
I-
the Floridites.
Hey, I was born and raised in Florida, man. I can make fun
Oh.
of it. Yeah.
Oh, you
there's-
converted to
there's-
Floridianism just for the jokes?
Do you know what's worse than that? Do you know where I was born in Florida? Plantation.
I know
don't get it.
plantation. Yeah,
Yeah, see, it's a real thing. I was born.
It is.
I was born in Plantation.
my wife's parents live on Plantation Road. There's like 4 plantation roads in the town I live in.
God. Yep, that sounds about right.
We haven't moved on really.
Anyways,
So the Festivus poll was out like on the Congress. I don't know what it is, the State House lawn or whatever, with like menorahs and Christmas trees and all of that good stuff. So it was actually
interesting.
Had a seat at the high table in Deerfield Beach. I don't know if they're still. It said in 2012. I wonder if they're still doing it or if it was just like this one-time stunt.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of kind of a similar role that Pastafarianism fills in some circles. Where are you familiar with Pastafarianism?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
So it's this guy came out with a book years ago now, and it's the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
It was a website at first, and then it took off similar to this. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of, it's a similar concept in the way that it's like, well, this is a religion now because we've said that it is something. It
emerged out of the should they teach creationism in school science class.
Yeah. But people have rolled with it. Like somebody fairly recently, within the last couple of years, I don't know if they went to court or they petitioned or something, but they were able to get it on their like official something government like document or driver's license or something that they were a Pastafarian.
Almost as a point, right?
I think that was where I saw it, and that's kind of always been my thing with like religion in general. Is we're going off these books that were created thousands of years ago to prove if something's real or not. And like, so what if somebody in 3,000 years picks up A Song of Ice and Fire, which I know you guys are fans of because you've told me, and just thinks like that's the way people lived in the year 2000 because that's when the books, were, or in 2011, let's say, when the last book was published and when the show started.
Well, that's what bothers me when people say, oh, Atlantis must be real because Plato wrote about it or whatever. And it's like, yeah, George R.R. Martin wrote about Game of Thrones.
Fucking dragons.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that we live with dragons. Like, you are allowed to make shit up. Like, that's what writing is most of the time.
Yeah. There could be truth in the narrative.
Someone wrote down thousands of years ago. So, like, if the mankind as we know it falls sometime in the next 1,000 years, and 3,000 years from now, somebody picks up this book series somehow and goes, nope, this is the way the world was, and we're all going to only believe this. Like, that would be crazy to think about. Which is essentially what happened.
Right.
Winter's coming.
Winter is coming. Yeah, that's going to be the motto of the year 5000.
It's coming. Nuclear winter's coming.
It's coming.
I've got one more history point, and then we can move on to the trivia challenge.
By the way,
from Florida. Yep.
Do you happen to know if anybody complained about the Festivus poll being side by side with that stuff?
I didn't see it, but I'm sure there were.
Yeah,
I'm sure there were, but I wonder if it was.
But it's probably the same people who complained that there was a Jewish thing there too.
Yeah.
The Wikipedia page on Festivus is probably not the place that I'm going to find that.
Right. Yeah.
That's true. Fair enough.
But I would say if it's not still up, it would probably be due to complaints of like, look, this isn't real. Come on.
Yeah.
It's real for Dan O'Keefe and his family, and now the whole Thunk Tank About Something family, who's got.
Well, we're going to bring the real spirit of it back.
Oh yeah,
like
not this Seinfeld shallow stuff. The real spirit of Festivus. It's for the rest of us.
Yeah, I have nothing to say to that. I agree.
So in 2016, the Tampa Bay Times, again, Festivus is pretty big in Florida, apparently.
That's great.
Allowed readers to submit their grievances and publish them all on the December 23rd. So I guess they were asking leading up to it, which I don't know how many people are actually reading a newspaper. It's Florida. There's a lot of old people. There might have been plenty of newspaper readers. And then sending in letters to be printed, which is pretty funny.
And what are they airing grievances about?
Just life. I think it was like mostly like probably the same things that they're sending editorials and crap in about.
And they're just getting rid of the personal information in it or whatever? I
think so.
Like, do they just go like the fucking neighbors are like, the dog's shitting on the lawn again, that kind of stuff? Or
I think it said it was like anything from neighbor disputes to like citywide ordinance kind of stuff.
Okay. So they could complain about town policies and things like that too, yeah. That's cool. So I think that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. If
like a public forum, for people to do that.
Maybe on Twitter a few days later we'll let people air their grievances too. After you post your picture of your clock, air your grievances.
They could complain and they could say, hey, when you make a topic about a Seinfeld episode, could you possibly stick to it?
No.
And we'll say, no, we can't. Sorry.
And I think we've explained that enough through the 3 episodes that between you and us we've done. I think we've explained that it's not possible. Like, everything leads to something else.
In our episode, our explanation about that was one of those, like, bouncing around from lines itself, you know? It was like breaking the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, you know, it just kept breaking the walls.
And then like, your brother introduced the let's talk about the side characters part. And which was a great idea, but like it never came to full fruition because like somebody would mention one side character and then it'd be 15 minutes on that side character.
Yeah, because you
kept,
can't just mention Putty.
He's like, look, I made this list of people who've been on under 3 episodes and guys that have been on over 6, and like, let's look at the list, guys. Let's look at the list. And you guys are like, oh no, but Putty.
You know what's funny is he hand wrote out that list because like he's like, well, I don't have a printer, so. And then we could not even get through it at all.
Email it or That's funny. And he did it from memory, didn't he? He said he did it mostly from memory.
I think he looked it up to confirm the numbers, but he originally like attempted it from memory, something like that.
That was my thing with Bryan Cranston being wrong on his number of episodes. Like, I just thought of the episodes off the top of my head, and I was like, okay, I got to look at the episode listing when I get home just to make sure I'm right and Bryan Cranston is wrong.
Right.
Suck it, Bryan Cranston.
And it was 6, not 5, right?
Yeah.
You said? Yeah.
It was whatever number I said. And if we wanted to go through the episodes right now, we could figure it out, but I don't.
No, I think you
if
said
we
6,
have any listeners left, I don't think that's what they want to hear.
Okay, I'm scrolling through Wikipedia right now. I'll report back. So you said there was one more Real World?
No, that was it. The 2016 Tampa Bay Times grievances. Yeah, so I think we're on to trivia. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready
how many do you have ready, Joe? Because like I got to be honest,
first.
I had one because I heard it on the drive over. And it was already revealed accidentally through one of our rail slips here.
I mean, both of mine were, but I tell you what, why don't you start? And
I have 9.
Well, I'm sure I'll have trivia
and
questions
these are just
based
like
off
randoms
of
throughout the season. None of them are from this episode.
So I feel like I'll have questions based on your questions to try to stump you. So I think you would be a good starting springboard.
We'll go through my top 5.
You can be the springboard.
You can be the springboard. You can finally be the springboard.
It's a pole vault,
guys. Right.
Yeah. So in season 9, episode The Wizard, what is the name of the knockoff wizard?
It's not the wizard. You got me the Willard.
Yes.
I don't know if that's what the accent.
It's a Willard.
It's a Willard, yeah. The Willard.
This thing's calculating the tip wrong.
That was season 9?
Oh my gosh.
It makes sense. Like, they didn't have...
Also, like, who can't calculate a tip in their
Kramer
head?
retired and was going to be the puppet president.
That's right. Kramer retired. Classic.
Don't feed him. He'll never leave.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jerry goes down and Kramer just walks into his parents' house.
Hey, buddy.
Kramer, what are you doing here?
Hey, buddy.
I retired. Yeah.
Getting out of the rat race. All right,
that's
did
a good
you think
one.
of one for me yet? Or should I go on to number 2?
No, go on to number 2.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this was revealed...
We're 1 for 1. That's good.
Yeah, good job. This was revealed in season 3, The Pen, and season 7, The Cadillac.
Okay.
So you got 2 chances to.
So the answer is Jack Kloppus?
Not quite.
Okay.
What is the name of the first development Jerry's parents live in?
Phase 1?
No. Not even close.
Ooh, that's good. I'm doing like the Dennis from Always Sunny where he like conducts with his
Uh,
eyes closed when he's trying to think of a crazy plot to conduct.
There are Seinfeld trivia things like that I know if I like fall into the episode I can get, and then there are the ones that I know just aren't in there. You know,
I think it's I don't know. I'm blanking
because they
reached
live
down
in
and there was nothing.
They live in that development through like the middle of season 7 when Morty gets kicked out for getting a Cadillac.
Oh, that
basically.
one. Oh, now I might be able to get it. This is the one where Jerry is down there at the time he's getting
counting the
kicked
money
out.
in front of Elaine, and Elaine's like all of a sudden really interested in him, and Elaine calls him, and he's in bed talking to her, and he says, "Really, you want to come down and see me at the
Oh, fuck.
See, I remember that scene because then she says, "What do you think?" And he just goes, "I don't think so."
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Like I remember that line.
that's the one where he buys him the Cadillac. In fact,
Yeah, that's a
'Cause-
Cadillac.
And that's a 2-part episode too.
Because
oh
that's
god,
Marissa Tomei
it has
also.
the word "son" in it, right?
It has what?
The word "son" in it.
Nope.
Something Estates,
Pine.
Nope. Pine. Yes, pine is a word.
Pine Grove Estates, something like that.
Nope.
Pine Ridge.
Nope. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The Pines at Mar Gables Phase 2.
Phase 2.
Oh,
So
you had the phase.
I
going.
had the phase and I had the pines. Okay. That's
Yeah,
pretty
because
good.
he's sitting there and he goes, "You really want to come spend the weekend at the Pines at Mar Gables Phase 2?"
Phase 2. That's
She's like,
that's
"Yeah,
amazing.
And they mention it at some point the first time they go there in season 3, the pen. But I don't know
Right.
the context around that. I haven't seen that episode in a while.
Yeah, I didn't know it went up until that late, but it makes sense because I remember that episode where they're moving
Right.
to Del Boca Vista, and it's so iconic.
It's the following episode, the showerhead, when they're all
Right.
stuck in Jerry's apartment.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So, but that's everybody remembers Del Boca Vista because they make such
Yes.
a big deal about it.
Exactly,
And you think
yeah.
like that's where they lived the whole time. And I called. So we did trivia at a bar in college, and they had a Seinfeld round, and I through that
Oh my
Seinfeld
gosh.
round single-handedly won my team the prize for the night.
And it was worth all the decades
Oh, absolutely.
of
It
training.
was, yeah, a bar tab for
Fearless
like
training.
5 guys, and just knowing every answer before he even got it out of his mouth was
Were
wonderful.
they shocked and or amazed and or disturbed?
all 3
That
at the same time.
I would say that's ideal. That's an ideal situation, right?
Yeah, and so the question was, what's the name of the development that Jerry's parents live in? And I said, which one? And he goes, well, the main one. And I'm like, well, I knew
that's a sketchy. That happens all the time at trivia, where like
he was going for Del Boca Vista because that's the one people know, but the main
Right.
one that they lived in for most of the show was not that.
So what was the conclusion of that?
It was Del Boca Vista. Like, I wasn't going to sit there and argue with him all night. Like, I was just trying to like even prove my superior. I was kind of being a douche about it and just proving my superior knowledge to begin with.
Yeah. But he should brush up. Shame on him.
I mean, if he's running
Yeah.
a trivia, he better.
I
should
bet
have
you
known, yeah.
I bet you he's one of those digital clear baggers who like the night
Fucking
of
guys.
he just like reaches into his pantry and takes out a Ziploc and
Goes
tosses
to
a clock
Walmart
in.
and buys the cheapest clock there.
Yeah. And just like, ticky tap tapes it up on the wall and just says, all right, time
He
to
probably
air
gets a
some
command
grievances.
strip, not even a real nail.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, that's what I mean. He doesn't even nail it. He doesn't even deface his own property. Like, it's
He like takes a picture down and hangs it where the picture was instead of giving it its
exactly
own.
shameful.
prominent
Shame on him.
These fucking guys.
I got a pretty good one for you.
Go for it.
All right. So
You said that like a true belligerent, Luke.
no, I just found it.
What was
and
Jerry's last name?
I'm pretty happy with it. What was the holiday that Frank Costanza invented? No.
Welcome.
Now, if I said the name Sid, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes. Wait. What?
Sid.
No. Okay, that's my question. Now,
No. Because
so
Uncle. So here's my issue. Uncle Leo plays a guy named Sid in an episode of Smart Guy, where he's competing with the kid's sister to win a car in a free car giveaway. They have to sit in a car all night together, and it's Uncle Leo, and his name's Sid. So I got lost on Sid.
in Seinfeld, Sid is the guy that is, moving cars from one side to the other side.
Oh.
You put your
I know
pants
who
on,
I
right?
am. Do you know who you
Yeah,
are?
I know who I am. Do you know who you are? That guy.
Great character. I wish they had had him
So
on more.
George
He was
takes
great.
over for Sid, right?
Yep.
And botches it.
And it's because Sid had to go out of town for the week to visit his sister. In what state?
Ooh.
Because he
It's not
specifically says the state in
Can I guess two?
I go visit my sister.
Yeah, Joe, you can guess too because you don't.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah,
I thought it was Florida, but I don't think it's Florida.
Indiana?
it's not Florida or
Maryland?
Indiana. Nope.
Pennsylvania.
I'll just say it then,
Yeah, just say it.
because we could keep naming states for a while.
Nevada.
Wait.
North
Give
Dakota.
me 44 more tries.
Virginia.
Alaska. Got it.
Virginia.
Virginia. I would have. That would have been like number 47 that I would have guessed.
That's a good. That's a tough question.
That's a little. It's a layer deeper. I guess I could have asked what was the name of the guy who moved to Cars, and that would have been pretty good too.
You would have gotten me on that. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have not gone that extra layer of insanity.
Yeah.
No, but that's what makes us insane, and it's great.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I appreciate that level
because
of
because Joe and I both thought that like if we thought hard enough or repeated the line enough, we could have figured it out. But it's one of those things, like you said, it's just not there.
Pennsylvania's not far.
Yeah, Maryland's even closer.
Yeah, we were in the right region ish.
So this one's a little easier. I think you guys will get this.
Okay.
Season 6, the raincoat. Season 7, the engagement. What's the name of the store Kramer gets his vintage clothing from?
Rudy's.
Rudy's.
Yeah.
I got it at Rudy's.
This
Yeah,
next
that's a
one
good
is
one.
harder, but it's a multi-answer question. So if you can get 2, I would be impressed.
We win trivia.
Yeah. Season 5, the masseuse. What names does Elaine suggest Joel Rifkin change his name to? There's 5 different names that she names because she does it in 2 parts.
I've never met a normal. Oh no! Wait,
You had it.
No, because he suggests this to her because she says, "I've never met a normal man named Stuart." Right?
Yeah.
So,
I
but
thought
that's
you were going for something different.
that one that he suggests to her, and then he says, "Remy, should I wear a beret?"
Remy Rifkin? Yep, Remy's one.
Remy was
the
one of hers. Yeah.
Remy was one, and Stuart was the one he
He named,
suggested.
yeah.
What was the other?
He suggested Stuart, Alex, and
Alex, yeah.
Todd.
Todd. That's interesting because Todd comes up
Todd Gack.
as Todd Gack. Yeah.
Is that Dutch?
What is that? That's a good name. Todd Gack. What is that, Dutch? Then what are the Netherlands?
Ned.
Ned? Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, Ned. That's a good one, yeah.
That's what
There's
I thought.
no
I thought
chance
you were
of
going
getting
to
the
say
other
Ned
3.
because you kind of said like the in because you were going to say named and okay. She in the first part where before they go to the game, she's reading like a Sports Illustrated and she says you should change your name to Dion or OJ.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Dion or OJ. She's just naming football players.
It's a tough look.
That's amazing.
OJ's a tough look.
I just so clearly remember him going, Remy, should I wear a beret?
That's the one I remember most
Yeah.
is Remy.
Yeah.
Because it's Remy Rifkin. Like he really hits
Which
on
I
Remy
actually think
Rifkin.
out of all of them, I actually like the best.
Well, so you haven't heard the 5th one. Ellis.
Ellis Rifkin.
Ellis. That's a terrible name.
That's
So
not a
one
good
of his
first name.
names was
Yeah.
Alex, and he said, you might as well pick Alex because Ellis and Alex sound the same.
Oh, and she goes, they sound nothing alike. Next.
That was really a good banter
Argument.
from Elaine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost on the level of the Jake Jarmel exclamation points.
You know what's funny? I actually showed that episode in class. All right, let me amend that.
Jake Jarmel,
Yeah, we're almost
another
running 2.5
fucking tool.
hours.
I
Might as well
showed-
go longer.
I found a video on Netflix about exclamation points and the history of them and how they've changed over time and what they mean. It's a great series called Explained, and they just cover whatever topics like aliens.
I think I added that to my list of ever-growing things I want to look at.
It's really
on
cool,
Netflix.
and I found this random episode on exclamation points, and they mention in it like a couple times they show that scene, and they show Jerry saying like, what are you doing? Like it's a line with a dot at the bottom of it, and they show her going, I would put an exclamation point here and here, and he goes,
Yeah.
I put one in here. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, they kind of nailed it.
Her talking to him at the side of the hospital bed with all those juji fruits in her mouth is pretty priceless.
I think she's definitely, to me, she's like the best. Like, she's a really good actor, I feel like.
Her and Jason Alexander are probably the best actors.
I would say her and Jason.
Kramer's a physical actor. You know, his physical comedy is amazing.
He's doing
he can
something
really
different.
Only be great as Kramer.
Yeah. He's doing a different thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, as
Jason
opposed to them.
Alexander's like an actual good actor, and he got from playing George, he got typecast a little bit through the 90s and the early 2000s, and like he's kind of getting back to it.
But look at him, and I mean, a perfect example of that is like I've seen him like vaguely in other things, but the 2 things I remember him from are Seinfeld and Curb, where he plays 2 totally different characters.
Well, he plays himself in Curb.
I wouldn't say totally different.
Well, he plays himself as Larry has casted him to be. Like,
Right.
clearly they didn't have that type of relationship on the show, or it wouldn't have worked, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
they knew that it would be funny to claim like, oh, that was our thing, and like now we're revisiting it. But like, it's so believable, right? That you watch that and you think, oh yeah, of course he was a dick on set, and you know he was a pain, because that's what he does in the show about
Did
the
you
show.
take the raisins?
Exactly,
Just between
like
you
that.
and me.
That's what he does. So it like the parallel is so brilliant, and how he executes it. It's like, oh yeah, I believe that that's probably what he was like, even though I know like that's probably not how it really happened, right? Or they wouldn't,
Right.
you know,
In his mind, it was probably going down like that. In Larry's
maybe.
mind, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, or it's funny. It's funny, I think, as fans to think that's how it would have gone down, right? Because it's like, of course, Larry and Larry would clash on set. Obviously, they don't, because Larry even admits that on Curb, what you're seeing is how Larry says, like, that's how I like would be or want to be in some situations, or again would be if I was unfiltered. And he says, obviously, I would never actually do most of these things because you'd have to be a psychopath. But it's what crosses my mind, and that's what comedy does. Is it
Right.
reveals, you know, what's really going through your
You
mind.
take it to the extremes, and that's
Yeah,
how you get funny.
Totally, and I feel like that's what that's what all these characters do
And the
in
only
different
reason you
ways.
laugh is because there's a kernel or more of truth
Absolutely,
to
yeah.
the situations.
Yeah. And I mean, this is true in Seinfeld. You know, like all of these characters, they embody aspects of a lot of people's personalities that we can relate to. Like, we can relate to the Kramer in us. We can relate to the George in us. We can relate to
The Ramon trying to infringe on your private space and you having to defend your territory.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought you were going
we
to
can
relate to
that.
Ramon.
To relate to Ramon?
No, I'm not like Ramon. I'm
To
different.
go see Ramon? All right, so my fifth question, and I might just go through all 9 since you guys didn't prepare anything. I'm really
I have
really
one
hurt
more
by
that I could give.
Okay.
So give a few more, and I'll say this one's pretty hard, I think. So
this is season 2, The Heart Attack. This was probably my hardest one, I think, from the first 5 that I was actually prepared for you guys.
Yeah.
So The Heart Attack, when Jerry shows his scribbled note to Tor Ackman, you know, salami, baloney. Tor says it's a basketball score. Which 2 teams was the score between? And
Ohio,
if you can get the score.
Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Cleveland is involved, and Lakers.
Nope. It's a Western team.
Wait, but one of them is Cleveland, right?
Cleveland is correct, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so it's Cleveland and...
Do you want to know the score so it'll help you get the other one?
Yes.
So it's Cleveland 117, blank 109.
Oh man, it's so funny that I couldn't have said those numbers, but when you said them, I was like,
just
of
rolls,
course,
yeah.
that's it, you know?
Sonics?
Nope.
Trailblazers.
Nope.
No, it's
He
something.
says the city. Yeah, and he says the city, not
he says the city. Cleveland.
It's a
Sacramento.
No, getting closer. It's a 2-word city. If that helps. It's a prominent team from the early to mid 2000s. They won a lot of championships.
It's not Lakers?
Nope. The other one from the Western
the Clippers.
Conference. Nope. From the other one from the Western Conference that's won lots of titles. Not Golden State.
Yankees?
Mavericks?
San Antonio.
Oh,
Spurs.
Antonio.
God damn it! Of course,
San
We weren't getting
Antonio.
there. Sorry, guys.
I was in Texas.
the way he says San Antonio, you know, like
Yeah. That's why Sacramento sounded the closest. Like,
That's good,
just the-
yeah. I think that's what
the
I was
number of
thinking. I was like,
syllables and everything.
I knew it was like an S word. I was like, Sonic, Sacramento.
my brain wanted
I
me
was
to
like,
say San
Samsonite.
Diego, but I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
San Diego. Like,
There's
yeah,
no NBA team in San Diego. Yeah.
yeah, but the sound of it was like San something feels right. You know?
Damn it, San
Like
Antonio.
flaming globes,
Yeah.
Sigmund.
Ugh, brutal.
All right, season 6, The Race. What was Jerry and George's 9th grade gym teacher's name?
Mr. Bacalopoulos or something like that.
No,
Right?
that's not it at all.
Bacalopoulos.
It starts with
That's
an
close.
H. Starts with an
No,
H.
nope. You're thinking of from the library in season 3. This is season 6.
It starts with a B, right?
Yeah, Joe was close.
Yeah, but it's something is, right?
Oh, so it's not the
Not
baked
S.
beans for teeth guy.
No,
No,
that was
okay.
our high school gym teacher. Yeah.
That's as close as I'm going to get Bacalopoulos. I can tell you that right now.
It's BA, and then he does the race at the end of the episode, and he says, "Are you ready? Are you set?" "Yes, mister."
Yeah. It's
Bevilacqua.
Bakalaka something.
Bevilacqua.
Oh,
Bevilacqua.
Bevilacqua.
Yeah. It's too many syllables
I
for me
believe
to
it.
remember
Yeah,
totally.
that's a
Yeah.
tough one.
Yeah.
Season 1, male unbonding. I think this one's easy. Name the male friend Jerry attempts to break up with in season 1.
I got this one. Joel.
Joel. Yep. Last name? Anyone?
Rifkin.
I
Remy
don't have the
Rifkin.
last name.
It's Remy.
It's Remy.
Joel
That's
Hornick.
Hornick. That's a good one. Yeah. That's a really good
All right.
one.
I've got 2 more, so do you want to go with yours and then I'll do my last 2?
What is the name in the clown episode where there's the fire and
Fire,
George?
yep.
Yeah. What is the name of the clown?
Eric the Clown.
All right.
Played by John Favreau.
Oh God.
He put the fire out
You
with his
just got
shoe.
smoked. Smoked. Speaking of the fire episode.
Okay, so you got the premise. Now the real question is,
Now that you're warmed up.
What color was the middle section of his hair?
Yeah, exactly.
all right. Well, I guess give your 2 then.
In season 2, the pony remark, what was Jerry's single greatest moment of his life? There's 2 possible answers for this. These ones are really hard, and that's why they're at the bottom of the list. He says it was the single greatest moment of my life. Talking about a softball game?
Oh,
is that with the water? The Gatorade or whatever?
No, that's when Kramer dumped the Gatorade on the drug addict. I don't remember.
Single
his name.
greatest moment of his life. It's when he hit like a home run or something, right?
He threw a guy out at home from left field on a fly.
Right, on a fly, yeah.
Yep. And then his mom Helen says, "Really, this was your greatest moment?" And he goes, "Well, Sharon Besser."
yeah.
Oh God, that's going back. Yeah, I don't.
Sharon-
You got me, man.
So this one, the only reason that I wanted to do this is, again, because I'm being kind of a douche about it and want to show my superior knowledge. Like, Sharon Besser sticks in my mind, and anytime anyone
Memory
says
burn.
something about like
Yeah.
a great moment, I'm like, oh, Sharon Besser. And like I just say it to myself because I know even like you guys wouldn't get that if I said it. So like
That's good.
I have to always keep it to myself, but that's one of those things that burned into my mind for some reason.
It's a personal memory burn.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one like real fan who's listening right now is screaming. He's just like,
It's like,
"How
I
could
know it,
they
I
not-
know it.
These noobs. How could
I
they
thought
not
I
know it?
respected them.
I thought they said this was a sign cast.
Everybody, just calm down.
Let's not
We
not
need
go
Luke's
into
brother
panic mode.
So Luke, you got to ask your brother all these questions and see if he can get them because he's the one guy who's still listening, yelling at you guys.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I got one.
He's
What
probably at the gym right now. Eric, do another 5 minutes on the elliptical. You're
clown?
Yeah, Eric,
Clown.
my clown brother.
What was the name of George's off Broadway?
La Cocina.
La Cocina. I think we
Okay.
did that in the
Come on,
last
this
one.
is child's play, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, no, we did. At the last one, I asked what the chef's name was in La Cocina. which
Yeah,
is
that
Paco.
was it. It was
Yeah.
Paco. Yeah,
See,
You know,
we're,
if,
already,
like-
we're already on repeats of ourselves.
Yeah, if you were doing
it's
this
a
kind of
podcast about nothing.
if you were
Yeah.
doing this kind
Were
of
you kidding?
trivia
Podcast about something.
with like a non-Seinfeld like fan, it's funny like sometimes because like I you know the game Quiz Up, it's like an app that people
Yeah.
play. So if you do that, like I remember I did that with an ex-girlfriend's like sister or something like that, and then I was like, let's do the Seinfeld topic. Like I'm pretty good at that, and I thought they might be pretty good at it too. And I realized like their level of trivia would be like, what is the name of like George's parents, you know?
Mhm.
And mine was more like, you know,
Where did they go on their first date? Even though
Yeah.
that's never said, but like
Shit.
that's the
I
level
got
of
one.
knowledge.
yeah,
you?
shit like that, basically. Yeah, exactly.
I got one for you. And there's a hint which might give it away to you, but I'll give you the hint if you need it.
I won't say it first if
What
you have
type of car does the guy at the hospital when George gets the perfect parking spot? What type of car is it that George has that the guy jumps out and lands on the roof of?
the
This
pig
makes me
man.
mad because I was
Luke-
going to ask this on the last one, and now I'm blanking on it.
Oh, that's even worse.
Like that was one of the questions I almost wrote down. I like took it off my list. I was like, "Nah, that's too deep. It's too hard." I want to say it's a Ford.
Okay.
I want to say it starts with the letter B.
You're both wrong.
Okay.
Luke, I'll give you a hint. I'll
Yeah.
give you a huge hint.
Can
It's the same type of car I have.
I just go downstairs and pee real quick?
You
Let me go look out the
past it
window
on your
real
way in.
Buick.
Okay, so it's not a Ford. It
Nope.
doesn't start with a B.
Nope. I'll
Oh,
give
wait.
you a clue. It's an American.
Pontiac
Wait, did I
GTO?
just guess B even though you told me it doesn't start with a B?
Also, yes. It's an American car, though.
Pontiac GTO.
Nope. That's a good guess, but no.
Well, that's what Frank bought.
Yeah. Give
So
up?
is it a Pontiac?
Nope.
Okay.
Got nothing.
Chevy? Dodge?
Yes.
Chevy.
Yes. It's a
Okay.
Chevy Impala.
Impala.
You know what year it
I
is?
think I knew that.
93.
I don't know. I think it's a 76. It's an
It's
old
an
car.
89 LeBaron. I know that.
What a tragedy, though.
But I always,
huh?
but I remember that after I got my car
Yes.
because I was like,
Such
oh,
a
yeah.
tragedy.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I got the Costanza car,
Where
the
the-
Impala.
Where the unfortunate splat occurred.
Yeah,
That's where I come in.
I can't help but think, had he been 5 feet over, it's the city's problem. Let them
Well,
deal
I
with
think you'll see from the estimate, I'm hardly profiting. Well, maybe a little.
That's an amazing Costanza conversation where he's trying to be nice and
it. Yeah,
get
like
his
he's
way.
trying to be earnest in it, but there's no way to be earnest in that conversation.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like if that was today, you'd just be like, I'm suing the hospital.
Yeah.
Like,
You let this guy out? Kramer let
Yeah.
him on the elevator somehow?
yeah, that's immediately what I do. I'd be like, Your Honor, Kramer, like
Yeah.
hospital, sue
Bring him
somebody.
in as your... make
Yeah.
sure he gets kicked in the head by Joe DeVola and then bring him in as your...
Knocks me
witness.
in the head.
Jesus.
All right, so my last one, season 9, the reverse peephole. If you guys get this, I'll be amazed. Kramer and Newman are making fun of Jerry's wallet, and they say those went out of style with what?
They're making fun of his wallet. I don't
Yeah,
even
because
remember
the one where he
that.
gets the European handbag type thing.
Oh.
So they're making fun of the fact that he used a wallet. He
Jerry
says,
can't
those go out of
handle that.
style with.
He's delicate.
I love when
that's the
I love.
showerhead.
Side note: I just love when Newman and Kramer team up on something
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
a little.
It's always
team.
great.
It's great, but it's a little bit like, ooh, that's not going to go well.
The
I have
game
a
of risk
contact in the
between
Hong
two
Kong-
people who can't run their own lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a contact in the Hong Kong post office. No, you don't. He's going to hook us up with a rickshaw. No, he isn't. Jerry's just like, none of this is real, what you're saying. I refuse to accept
Yet
it.
they had a rickshaw.
They
had
wound
a
up with a rickshaw.
Old Rusty. Powdered wigs is the answer.
Powdered
Goes, those went out of
wigs.
style. Kramer goes, those went out of style with powdered wigs.
See, the line like flickers some recognition in my brain,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's kind of like he kind of trails off as he says it too. That was a really tough line. That I moved that one to the end because I was like, there's no way anyone's gonna get that.
I have one that I got my brother on the other day, but I thought it was easy and he couldn't get it. So I kind of want to run it by you guys.
Go
Go for it.
So
We got nothing better to do here.
clearly.
Let's go for 4 hours.
Yeah,
Come on.
clear. Oh my
We'll,
god.
we'll
what
put
has
out
happened?
4 parts.
So, what is the nationality of the guy who lives next to the incinerator?
Portuguese.
Luke?
No.
The one that they.
It's Portuguese.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Because I thought that was an easy one, and I got my brother on it because he was like,
Yeah, you give it to the Portuguese guy down by
yeah,
the incinerator.
yeah, he was like
Oh,
Spanish,
right.
and I was like, no.
So often the only way, like, you can get tricked in Seinfeld trivia
Yeah.
into thinking you should think of it like, do I know this fact? But instead you just have to like search your database of one
Yeah.
like sentence quotes.
You got to go through the line.
Well,
Yeah.
they don't reuse things a lot
Yeah.
either, and George broke his abstinence with the Portuguese waitress, so like you don't usually
Yes.
see them reuse a country like that.
Right, and a very specific country. It's like, how often do
Yeah.
Portuguese come up in many contexts? And it's like in Seinfeld fairly regularly. It turns out.
I
Not
got
as much as
another
Puerto
one
Rican,
for you
but-
guys that I just thought of.
Yeah, go for it.
A lot of naming ones here.
Yeah, that's
Do
fine.
you remember Jerry's? They're either like the building managers or the landlords in season 2 when he promises the apartment to Elaine, right above him.
Yeah.
Do you remember their names?
Oh,
Is it Lenny and
they one of them speaks like Spanish / English, and I feel like it starts with an L,
That's why I was thinking Lenny.
Yeah.
No L's.
Oh, never mind.
I remember Manny.
You got the Manny. Yep.
Manny. So Lenny, Manny. I was on to something.
Manny and something else. Is there another name given?
Yeah, it's Harold and Manny.
Harold and Manny.
I was gonna say I feel like it's something short. Saul, Kip, Mo.
3 letters. Short name. Yeah, can we talk about the candy lineup? Do we have enough time for that?
So, can I just mention something very briefly about that? Because it didn't come up on the George Costanza episode. The fact that episode, the whole thing is about him trying to get a Twix bar.
And then he has 10 Twix?
There's a gap. There's clearly a gap because he shows up and says, I've spent the last hour organizing a candy lineup. So within an hour span, he somehow got money, which he didn't have, to buy a bunch of Twix somewhere else because that vending machine was out of Twix. And he didn't eat any of them because he was so focused on revenge. And it's unclear
and
revenge
this time,
at best.
Jerry is still negotiating on a done deal on a sob.
Yeah, the whole time Jerry's just been sitting there for an hour staring at Putty's lifeless gaze, waiting for Elaine to show up.
And let's go ahead and say that he does successfully trick the fat car mechanic guy into, like, revealing that he stole the Twix.
Candy.
Then what? Then what?
Not Skittles.
What would George get out of winning that?
That's why he breaks down when he says, it was a setup. You all screwed me.
They're all Twix.
Now give me a Twix. Yeah. Because that's really, he remembers that's really all that he wanted, and then it's just, they're all gone.
Because he never thought through that this doesn't get him anything to win.
It's some sort of weird biblical moral, I'm sure.
Where it's like... Do we need to have a full candy lineup episode?
That's actually, you could do that. You could do a whole... episode, yeah.
Mr. Kramer the Road.
Mr. Kramer the Road.
And for some reason, Kramer can't even respect the guy enough to remember his name. Yeah. We're going to say Kramer and that other guy.
Yeah, also along those
lines. What's his name, by the way?
He just leaves him on the side of the road. Kramer just gets out of the car and walks away.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
I'll tell my friend to think about it. I thought it was Randy. I don't think I'm right, though.
I don't think it's Randy, but he keeps saying it's a Kramer.
Like Kip, Mo, Saul. It's something short. 3 letters.
Short name.
I think it's Rick. He says it's Rick, by the way.
Yep.
Rick, yeah.
No time.
What was George's...
Like, no time to remember the name you already just said.
Yeah, and refuse to remember.
Yeah.
Also.
So that just reminded me of another one. What was George's first boss's name? His real estate agency boss's name?
Oh, the guy who he roofied?
Yeah.
Or Mickey.
Well, so I was watching that one last night, and like he slipped on a Mickey,
episode.
and I'm like, so he definitely just roofied this guy, right? Like that never dawned on me until I'm like, oh, that's what happened.
Oh, it's like, and Elaine goes along with it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't recycle.
Yeah, but like, why is Elaine cool with?
And he cheats on his wife.
Well, she knew that he cheated on his wife, but because Jerry says,
well,
she knew that, and he goes, she didn't know he doesn't recycle too. Like that pushed her over the edge.
Yeah.
Right. He cheats on his wife. He's a womanizer.
That's fine.
And he's also a piece of shit because he doesn't recycle.
Also, what was George's main motivation in doing that is the excitement of it's just like in the movies.
Yeah. Which is also not.
From a Mickey.
What movie?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Name one.
He doesn't reference any movie.
The Funky Cole Medina music video?
Like, that's what I mean. It's like, what are you talking about, George? Like, and he also says, he's like, I got a Mickey guy. And it's like, what does that mean? Like, where did he get this?
Where do you find a Mickey guy? I mean, and the only reason it even dawned on me is because recently I've heard 2 other people's stories of how they've been roofied and like how terrible it was. And like, luckily they got out of the situation fine. Like they had friends around and like everything turned out fine for them.
Yeah.
But like, I was just like, oh shit, like George literally just tried to date rape this guy.
Essentially. Yeah.
Hopefully it wouldn't have come to that.
Did he wake up at the nudist colony or not?
That's a good point because the guy does drink it, right? And we never get a follow-up with what happens.
The follow-up seems to hint at that George told him and confessed. Maybe even stopped him from drinking it.
No, he drinks it.
Because he says drink up, yeah.
He says bottoms up.
Oh,
and the guy slugs it, yeah.
But then the conclusion of that episode is like, oh, well, like all the shit got figured out.
No,
right?
The conclusion is he was unemployed for like the next 5 seasons.
Yeah, I know because he must have gotten caught.
On Jerry and Kramer's side, it gets evened out because he's even Stevens because he loses $1,300 at the laundromat. They put the concrete in the washer, and then it's $1,200. Kramer finds the $1,300 in his laundry because they mixed their boys.
Right.
And
they didn't bother to check that,
Right.
when $1,300 goes missing. Why would you check the other,
the bag that you brought,
Yeah.
and the washer to fix the washer, it was
Yeah.
$1,200. So Jerry's
Jesus.
resolution was that it evens out, but George, I think, just drug the guy.
I just looked at the clock and realized you're recording for hours.
Almost 3 hours.
Yeah. I
Oh,
definitely have to go because I'm still a little jet lag tired. So
Oh, that's right. You just
Go
flew
for
back in. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think we've been off Festivus for quite some time. So if anybody's still listening, thank you for
truly,
enjoying
thank
this holiday
you.
with us.
We're huge
send
fans
us your
of you
pictures
as well.
Of your
Yeah.
yes, send us your pictures of your clocks. You can send them on Twitter at APA something or at Thunk Tankers.
Yep.
correct.
Yep.
And
You
you'll
can
be the
send-
first in a very exclusive club of true. What do you
Practitioners.
Festivites?
Festivites.
I'm not comfortable with that
what it
phrase.
is.
It's
The
your tradition,
the Church
Joe.
of Festivus, I think, is what we'll call
It's
it.
your
I like
culture,
that, yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
It
It is your heritage.
Heritage, Joe.
You gotta get that Brooklyn accent.
The Latvian Orthodox First Church of Festivus.
Oh, great episode too.
Oh,
One of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Oh, so
Should we
good.
talk about that for 10 minutes now?
Oh God. We should go to bed as well. Oh God, it's midnight.
It's midnight, yeah.
Yeah.
all right. Well, it was really fun to do this again, and I'm pretty sure each episode we do one of these, we can just invent the next excuse to do another one.
That
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
ideal.
Well,
Yeah.
I have 15 probably ideas already, and then we come up with more each time we do this. So
Fair enough.
There will definitely be more from the Thunk Tankers.
Hey, we're just giving the fans.
It's
what
only
they
the
want.
second one, and we've already invented a new sect of Festivus.
It's happening. Yeah. Yeah, we got the
True.
clocks ready to roll.
Yeah, let's go to the
Yep.
new world. Really,
Okay.
we're being persecuted here. It's just like
All right, Luke's done. Cutting him off.
What would the new world be? Where are we going?
LA.
Let's make it Hawaii. Yeah, LA,
Luke just
Hawaii.
thought what's
somewhere where
west
it's
of
just
here.
nice. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to
Somewhere
say like
nice
New
and warm.
York to LA, like Seinfeld did that.
Nobody comes back.
Not the same.
All right,
at least.
Ramon, that's enough.
I don't memorize lines.
all
I
right.
memorize colors.
Oh, you
Red,
believe-
green, blue. It's like Kramer. That's not an acting lesson.
Oh yeah, he's explaining his methodology.
So instead of memorizing lines, I just memorize colors. It's like, and then what?
And then you wind up in a van with cultists. That's what's next.
Think these hands been soaking in ivory liquid?
Oh, you could do a whole thing on that. Oh God.
I think that
well,
falls under Kramer's schemes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that's
move to
his
LA.
thing. Yeah. Well, remember the episode where the people buy the painting and he goes to
Yeah.
dinner with them, the rich people, and he goes, like, I think he says when he was 17, he went on a steamboat to Sweden, and he says like, I forget what he says, but it's like, wait, what?
There's some detail there.
Yeah, there's definitely some detail to fill in there, Kramer.
Well, and the when he gets picked up by the cop, he knows about the guy in the park.
Oh, that's right.
So he may or may not have been molested in his childhood as well. Maybe that's who he went to Sweden with.
Well, we may never know.
I'm sure if we make a point to go a little bit of a deep dive into Kramer, we'll fill in some
We'll
more
find it,
detail
yeah.
than we thought existed.
Or we'll just make it up ourselves.
yeah,
That's fine too. Yeah.
Michael Richards / Larry David, if you're available, or the original Kenny Kramer, if you're somehow listening to this, hit us up. We'll have you on.
You're all welcome to join us.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
can talk to 3 hours. We can talk to you for 3 hours. Trust us.
No problem. I will clear my schedule. No
We
problem.
might even make it 8 hours. Like that. Just we're all
fine.
gonna have to go into an office somewhere and just have an 8-hour day.
Yeah, no, I'll cancel all my previous appointments for sure.
For
I
Larry
work for
David, yeah.
Kruger Industrial Smoothing. We don't care, and it shows. So they won't mind if I call in sick 2 days in a row.
That's right, Kuga.
All right, Ramon. That's all we got for tonight.
Well, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, good
Thanks,
stuff.
guys.
Yeah.
Hey, this is an ad about something. Audible, to be exact. Audible is a great way to catch up on all your favorite stories while on the go. Audible includes an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original audio shows, news, comedy, and more from the leading audiobook publishers. I've been using Audible for years on my daily commute to catch up on some of my favorite fantasy stories, including Harry Potter, The Once and Future King, and A Song of Ice and Fire, narrated by the Guinness World Record holder Roy Dotrice. I also love getting Audible's recommendations. Just recently, Audible recommended that I read Armada and Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, and Spectacularly narrated by Will Wheaton. I listened to both of these stories and loved them both because the narration by Will Wheaton just made the stories even more enjoyable and immersive than if I would have read them on my own. So if you love books, I've got some great news for you. Right now, for my listeners, you can get any audiobook you want from Audible for free when you sign up for your free trial of Audible using audibletrial.com/a-podcast-about-something. Again, to download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/a-podcast-about-something. Thanks for listening. I don't really have a 2-minute ISO proper in this episode. I did want to make a big announcement on this episode. So starting, not the next episode, but the beginning of 2019, January 2019, I will be joined by a new co-host. His name is Nick. I'm not going to give his last name right now because, I want to respect his privacy. So I'm just going to leave that out there. So Nick will be joining me. He runs his own podcast. It's a fantasy narrative podcast, and it's called You Are All Alone. It's a really great story that he tells. He uploads every 3 weeks, and he does a lot of supplemental stuff with side characters and illustrations on his websites, things like that. So check out the You Are All Alone podcast with Nick. He might give his last name there, and then you can find out more about him. But like I said, he'll be joining me at the beginning of 2019. So that'll be, I think, in 2 episodes. He'll be started. So stay tuned for that. He's going to be the regular co-host going forward. We will have, every once in a while, we'll probably still have guests on. Just depends on topics and things like that. But there will definitely be more from the Thunk, from the Thunk Tankers in the future. So don't worry if you enjoy these Seinfeld episodes. There's more of them because I can't not talk about Seinfeld. So thank you for listening. If you want to give us any feedback, you can hit us on Twitter or through email. And if you want to send us your pictures of your Festivus clocks or Festivus polls or airing grievances on Festivus, really anything Festivus related you want to send us, hit us on Twitter at APA something or through email, podcastaboutsomething@gmail.com. You can always visit our website, podcastaboutsomething.com. And check out our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/podcastaboutsomething. There's plenty of great benefits if you want to become a subscriber there. I also want to say thank you to those cats for providing all the music for a podcast about something. That's all we've got for today. Stay classy.